So check it out. What's up with it, man? How y'all feeling today? I done came out here, man, to put it down, give y'all another little, 1, 2. This right now, man, we gonna get a little deep, but uh, you know, we gotta do what we gotta do. So check it out, man. Y'all see the title, COINTELPRO and Hip Hop. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why I'm doing this is because this is a conversation that I normally have with people about hip hop and COINTELPRO. And for those that don't know what COINTELPRO was put together by J. Edgar Hoover. You know what I mean? They had the FBI back in the late 50s, early 60s to pretty much squash the protest movements of back then and the liberation movements and such. So what I wanted to do was touch on some of their tactics and some of the things they do and some of the things that they bring to the situation. And I was in asking the question, you know what I mean? Not necessarily stating, but I'm gonna put out some things. I'm gonna say some things, make you maybe think. Uh, but do your homework and see if this fits the narrative, of what they saying. I'm not saying that this is exact or none of that. I'm just saying that this is some of the things that I would like to know about and I ask about constantly. So uh, I'm about to get into it. You know what I mean? So what is COINTELPRO? Like I said, COINTELPRO is a organization that was put together by the FBI back in the late 50s, early 60s to get rid of uh, people like the Black Panthers. So this is who infiltrated the Black Panthers and got rid of the Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Was uh, you know, excuse me, COINTELPRO. So they use these tactics where they go and they pretty much harass you about your finances um, via the IRS, like everyday type shit. Like they always on them about what they do with the money and woo and shit like that. Um, they do a lot of covert, spying and bringing people into your organization. you know, infiltrating your organization with people. You know what I mean? I just seen where one of the Latin Kings was talking about where they used COINTELPRO against him out in New York. You know what I mean? He was like, that was in the late 90s. They acting like it was over in 1971, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? They was using it back then too. So, uh, the reason why I feel like it started to be used in hip hop, I think hip hop was one of the things that when they changed the music, they also brought in a new force, and the force that they brought in was the hip hop cops. Everybody, if you ever want to, there's a documentary on the hip hop cops. Go check that out. Uh, but yeah, the hip hop cops, and they show you in the documentary this big ass book where they got all this stuff written down about hip hop artists and where they was, and we was there too, and we seen you, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good documentary to watch. Uh, you know, the thing that sparked me was like, dang, they got all that information, but then when Pac and Big got murdered, they couldn't figure out shit. You know what I'm saying? So it makes you wonder, you know what I mean? And that's the one of the things about COINTELPRO is that they, pretty much there'll never be another Black Messiah. So COINTELPRO is who killed Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? This is how long COINTELPRO been around and how much damage they've done. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you go look it up, they're gonna say COINTELPRO killed Martin Luther King because he had a dream. No, they killed Martin Luther King because he started singing a different song. He started telling his people he feel like he walked them in a burning building. You know what I'm saying? By integrating them. So that's something that I think a lot of people should know about. Another thing, they killed Malcolm X. They had the people from his own people come and murder him. So that just show how powerful they move and how it is. A lot of times I think we think a lot of this stuff is just government conspiracies, and I think we all don't believe that what happened to Malcolm X is a government conspiracy. I think we all know that was real. But a lot of times people write off a lot of things as government conspiracies, but you can go do the homework and the research because it's out there. You know what I'm saying? So go check it out. Another thing, like I said about the hip hop cops and the predominant, about this situation. So we know they got a thing called the hip hop cops where they spy on and keep they keep tabs on hip hop artists, in the game. And so it would be only fair to, in my mind, to think that when some of these artists that we see getting murdered, that the hip hop cops are somewhere near. So why are they allowing this to happen? Or is this happening because uh with hip hop, these are the voices of the streets. These are, a lot of these people are the voices of the people, um the voice of the voiceless. So they also become cash cows, and bring in jobs, and bring in more financial opportunities to the areas, the low poverty areas that a lot of them come from. You know what I mean? So just them having a simple concert in that city, on one night, as long as the people who are maybe performing or whatever's going on, it's some money being made. It's some things happening. People are making some legal money. You know what I mean? Whether it's an after party or whatever it is, I'm sure in the entourages and all that. So I go to say that, it's some artists that have been murdered. And I want to get into the murdered artists. Man, it's kind of crazy to me that people don't really take in consideration that, look how these artists I'm about to name have been murdered. I'm gonna just name three, and I'm gonna name how they've been murdered, and y'all can understand what I'm saying. So, Biggie Smalls, right? Tupac and Mac Dre, they all was murdered where somebody rolled up alongside the car and shot in the car, and the only person who died was the artist. That's not a coincidence in my mind. You know what I mean? Um, it was a hit. You know what I mean? This is how I feel. Not saying that this is factual, but I feel like those was all hits. I feel like those was all hits that these people put down because they understood. These people are cash cows. They bring so much wealth to an impoverished area where they really, hip hop was really spun in the 90s, in the early 90s, that they changed the way hip hop was played and presented to us, because they wanted to make money off of us in a different way, which was putting us in prisons. And so, they used hip hop to kidnap the minds of the young, myself included. You know what I mean? As you can see in the back, I got hip hop posters, and these are the things I grew up on. Uncle Sam's Curse, Uncle Sam's Curse, the Dog Pound. You feel me? What's that? Snoop right there. You feel me? I got a Tupac up there. You feel me? So, Big, all that. So, I was raised on this stuff, and so I feel like I understand exactly how it got our minds, because I was one of the kids whose minds it had. Um, to the point you start acting out these things, and you start feeling like you're gonna win and be a winner if you become this. You know what I mean? So these are the things that I feel like are not being shared within the community about these murdered rappers and things like that, right? So one of the things I want to get to with the murder, the murdered rappers and the things like that, the artists that have been murdered. You know, Tupac, like I said, Tupac, Biggie, and Mac Dre was all gunned down, hit style, really. Mafia hit style, really. That's how them situations played out, like the mafia hit. Um, so I just look at these things, like I said, this could be definitely COINTELPRO. You know what I'm saying? You got Nipsey Hussle. Look how much money was taken out of that community when he died. If you go check out where his story is, you could see it openly, the turmoil that has now hit that spot where he has died. There's not as much money as probably being made in LA. It's now a super gang war going on in LA. There's things happening everywhere. So this is a result of when these rappers die, and these people who are putting money back into their communities via, whether it's whether it's via doing a show, or whether it's just handling your business on some other shit. You feel me? So I think that we have to be aware of what is going on around here. You feel me? I don't know if this is a coincidence or a pattern, but I do know that hip hop was changed from the '90s, from the '80s to the '90s, to present more heavily on I think in entertainment, in the black community, was designed to really kidnap the minds of the youth and to teach us how to be a certain way. A lot of us didn't have fathers. You know what I mean? A lot of us was impressionable, and whatever we were seeing on TV was we were trying to become because we were trying to emulate because we believed that that was how you actually win in life. And so a lot of us have made terrible mistakes and had to go to jail and had been through a lot of things just to be a part of something. So it's crazy to think about this. But okay, so let me go to some more prominent rappers who have been murdered. No, and these are all unsolved murders as well. Um, the Jacka, the Jacka was murdered. Now I knew Jacka; that was a friend of mine. Dominic Wilton was a friend of mine, and this is another thing I want to tell you about COINTELPRO. They've been around. They've been around, and they've been, they like I said, they were heavily involved in taking down the Black Panthers. So think about Tupac Shakur for a moment, and think about how much of a Black Panther he was. That he even had a song called Panther Power, and was his mother was Fina Shakur was part of the Panthers. Assata Shakur is on the run currently from the U.S. government with uh, so that just lets you know that they always been in these people's business. So they've been in his business since he was a little kid. So when he became of age, they would have squashed him as a kid, but look how much look what he has became. You know, when you see what he became, then you see maybe why there was a bigger entity that wanted to get him out of here. Um, so the Jacka is another one. The Jacka, one thing, he brought a lot of money. I used to go with him to shows and stuff, and man, so many people made money. So many people were able to make money because he was so good at what he did, and so many people loved him. And as long as he was willing to share the spotlight and share anything, that anything that he had with his people, whether it was getting on these songs or getting in the video or helping them get their songs together, helping them. I've seen them help get business together. You know what I mean? Him and his people, his team, they was helping other people. Just everybody was working. And when he died, man, everything died with him. Same thing with Mac Dre. When Mac Dre was alive and making money, and the Thiz was going, the Thiz dance and all that, man, Mac Dre was one of them ones. And the one thing about Mac Dre I want to state is this: people don't talk about this with Mac Dre, and I think that this is very important that we bring up about Mac Dre. Mac Dre was a fun guy. He really was. Mac Dre was hella fun, and the Thiz dance and all that, and that was cool. But Mac Dre, if anybody ever listened to Mac Dre, go check out a song called "Pawns in the Game." That'll definitely tell you how smart and how much understanding he had of what was going on with us. And so I'm letting you guys know that this is what I feel like is a part of hip hop. I also have a feeling that I've also always kind of felt like the starting of Death Row Records was the government, and I feel like that's why Suge Knight is taking the fall like he has. I feel like Suge Knight stepped out of line with those people, as where Suge Knight had a deal and he knew what he was supposed to do, but what he was trying to do was still help people, and that didn't work out. I think that him still trying to be a little bit, like I said, everything I'm saying is not necessarily factual, but I know some people that know Suge Knight, and I've met Suge Knight a few times. Uh, um, I don't know. The stories I've heard from multiple people is that Suge Knight was trying to help people, and he helped people renegotiate their contracts to get better deals and to have better things go on for themselves. So I don't know. Ain't no telling what really went down and really what happened. But what I will say is this: free Suge Knight, straight up. Um, the other thing, like I said, you look through hip hop, you see people's situations break apart, through all kind of reasons, jealousy or whatever. Um, it's really sad that these things happen, but like I said, I believe this is a COINTELPRO tactic to break the minds of the people that are in the music game, that are actually having messages to deliver, true messages, not just bullshit. But for those that have messages to deliver, whether they deliver it with the fun or not, what I mean, whatever, however they deliver it. But I think that there's a big push to keep the message out of the street rap. They don't want the messages in the street rap. So those who try to hide messages in street rap, they get rid of. So the Tupacs, the Jackas, the Mac Dre's, um, because Mac Dre was heavy on don't snitch and stand your ground. I mean, be a real one. What I mean, there was principles behind his raps. There was a lot of principles. Um, out here on the West Coast, there's a lot of other things going on, and on the East Coast as well. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. But rest in peace to Mac Dre. Rest in peace to the Jacker. Uh, you know, rest in peace to all the people who was murdered. Out here in the world, man, for no reason or for petty reasons. That maybe could have been worked out for other in other ways. Um, a lot of people tell me, Draco the ruler. Imagine how much money is going to be not funneled through the situation where he was at, where he could have hired people and helped people, get their things together. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of people. Slim 400. I'm not saying now, like I said, once again, I'm not saying factually that these is all COINTELPRO situations, but I do believe the bigger names in hip hop and some of the people who had the potential to be bigger were definitely hits by COINTELPRO. And I believe they were designed and set up and built for us to see as an entertainment way of them going out, which is murdered by some street niggas and all that. And COINTELPRO, they use a lot of rats and snitches and people who have deals with the police. So, people get caught up in the streets and they want to fix they situation, but they want to go on the they do a lot of stuff. So maybe I'm not, like I said, allegedly, maybe the people who supposedly murdered Tupac, maybe they did do it, and maybe they were hired by our government to do it. Maybe that was something that we didn't ever take in consideration, right? So, like I said, hey, y'all really just pay attention, man, and stay tuned. I'm gonna bring some more stuff out, man. I'm gonna get some people up here to talk. My next show, I'm gonna try to bring somebody dope up. You know what I mean? So y'all can see the kind of reach I got and how many people I can get in. But like, share, subscribe, comment, all that dope shit. And I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good day. And man, don't do nothing I wouldn't do. You feel me?